and welcome to Silent Movie Marathon 3. Yes, another Silent Movie Marathon. The last one was pretty interesting, wasn't it? A 9-hour-long video. Unbelievable. 42 films, 2 weeks, and a 9+ hour video, which I did then break into a 13-episode miniseries as well. So if you haven't seen that and you like me talking about silent films, then there's a whole shit ton of it from last September. Although it took me a few months to get the video out. It was released in December of 2015. It is now September 2016. It is Silent Movie Marathon time again. I first started this back in 2014. Yes, 2014. With a 2-hour video, no rules, just watched a bunch of silent films. 2015, a bit more strict. I decided that I was only going to watch silent films on Blu-ray and only silent films that I'd seen for the first time. This year, the rules have changed slightly. Well, not really. There are no rules, I suppose, but I am going to be watching strictly silent films on Blu-ray. I'm sure a couple of them might be standard definition because they're special features on other Blu-rays, but mostly we're looking at actual high-definition silent films on Blu-ray for all of this Silent Movie Marathon, and most of them are first-time watches. Now, I want to kind of let you know what's going to happen with the next Silent Movie Marathon as well, because it kind of ties in with this one, and you'll see why once I've explained it. Next September, and I feel like now September is the Silent Movie Marathon month for me. I did the original in July. Last year I did it in September, and I really like doing it in September for some reason. The summer was fading, winter's around the corner, especially here in Norway. You can kind of really tell that winter is coming, and so I like doing it at that time of year last year. So this year, September again, I'm doing it. It's the 5th September today. And I want to keep it as a September thing. You know, it's a nice space between the 24-hour movie marathon in March, April time. I like the gap, you know, it gives me time because these videos are big and stuff. But this year I'm going to be doing 2 silent movie marathons. Yes, 2. Next year, next September, things are going to be up in the air. I don't know where I'm going to be next September. I might be still here. I might not be still here. I might be about to move out from here. Either way, things will be crazy next September, and I probably won't have you know, any money to spare on silent films on Blu-ray. So I just don't think it'd be a wise idea to plan to do this next year. But I still want to do another one for next year. So I'm going to do 3 and 4. Back to back, as if I'm Peter Jackson making the Lord of the Rings. Let's hope it's not as long as Lord of the Rings. And also, I have so many films yet again. I think maybe a little bit more than I had last year. So, and I'm looking at 2 humongous stacks right now, and as last year, I'm so happy, I'm so excited. I've been saving these films up for the past year. I've been like buying some of these since, you know, since the last Silent Movie Marathon to feature in next year's one, and throughout the summer, my birthday, Christmas, I'm getting presents at Silent Films on Blu-ray, and it's all been building up to this month where I'm going to be doing Silent Movie Marathon 3 and 4. Really excited about it. I've kind of charted out everything. I've plotted what I'm going to watch in each marathon. I kind of thought maybe I should do Silent Movie Marathon 3 now, release the video in maybe next month or something like that, and then Silent Movie Marathon 4, I'll wait until next year to release the video. But then I just think, I don't know, maybe I'll see what the reaction is to Silent Movie Marathon 3. If people want to see more immediately, then perhaps I'll post the 4th one in a few more months down the line. Maybe at Christmas time again, like I did with the last one. But I'm going to tell you what the plan is for this. So this one, Silent Movie Marathon 3, is going to be called an Odyssey of Intertitles, which is one of the subtitles I almost used for last year's video. But it is going to be an Odyssey of Intertitles. We've got all sorts of films from all over the world. It's a real international flavour to things. We've got films from Germany, films from the UK, films from America, of course, but also films from Sweden, Norway. So I've really tried to get a nice mix of everything for both of these marathons, and to kind of space everything out and to not have kind of a lot of the same thing in each one. And Silent Movie Marathon 4 is the one I'm really looking forward to, and it's going to be called A History of Silence, because I'm going to take you from the very beginning of film itself until almost the end, or not the end, but you know, the present day. We're going to go from the 1890s all the way up to the 2010s. There will be a lot of stuff from the 2010s, but there'll be a couple of films, and we will start at the very beginning of silent cinema, the very beginning of film, the very beginning of the moving image, and I'll take you on a guide through, you know, the silent era, the many different parts of it, the comedy, the drama, the beginning of sound, and later silent films after the silent era was ended. So I'm really looking forward to History of Silence. I need to wait another month to get one more Blu-ray for that as well. That's another reason for it. But there's still quite a lot of films I'm really excited for this one, Silent Movie Marathon 3. Admittedly, there are ones I'm not as looking forward to, but maybe that's where surprises will come, and I'll find some films that, you know, kind of blow me away more than I thought they might originally, because there's quite a couple here that I'm really excited to see, and you'll see all about that in the rest of this video. So I hope you enjoy the rest of proceedings, and I've explained that well enough. I'm just, yeah, I'm really excited to dig into these, because I'm such a big fan of these silent films that it's definitely something that, you know, I look forward to every year, and I love kind of making this kind of this thing where every year I can look forward to it, where I can sit down and just dedicate myself to watching loads of new silent films I haven't seen before. I'm going to kick things off the way we ended it last time. We ended last year's Silent Movie Marathon 2 with a Buster Keaton film, College. So we're going to begin it with another Buster Keaton film, one of his last silent feature films I haven't seen before. Connie's going to join me for that one, and we're probably going to have dinner. We'll see what happens, but she won't be joining me for hardly any of the films in this. Maybe a couple of the short films that are going to be cropping up throughout this marathon, but for the most part she won't be, but she will be joining me for this first Buster Keaton film, which I'm really excited to check out, because I've seen most of his silent films, the feature ones anyway, and in fact no, I've seen most of his shorts, and so yeah, I've seen almost all of his silent stuff, but this is one of the features I haven't seen, and I'm really looking forward to it. It just came in a couple of weeks ago, so it's going to be a great way to kick it off. I'm a big Buster Keaton fan, so that's awesome, and it goes back all the way to, you know, my real kind of the beginnings, the genesis of my love of silent film, which was the 24-hour movie marathon 3, I think, when me and Connie watched a couple of Buster Keaton films. And you know, I'll always say that Metropolis, Fritz Lang's epic, was the film that opened my eyes to silent films, but Buster Keaton was who pushed me through the door itself. You know, like he's the guy who really got me to where I am today. And so I have the new short films collection. I can show it to you now, even because it's on top of the stack and I won't be ruining anything. So I will be delving into this and watching some of these shorts, probably throughout both the Silent Movie Marathon 3 and 4, kind of throwing them in there to kind of just be nice kind of break films, I guess. But there's not as many kind of epics as there was last year. There's one epic in Silent Movie Marathon 4 that is going to be huge, like the longest silent film ever, that I've ever seen. But for this one, Silent Movie Marathon 3, there's not many epics, you know, most of them are fairly short. I worked out the timings. I could probably do this marathon in a 24-hour period, but I'm not going to. Last year, of course, I did so many films, it took me 2 weeks, taking the weekends off, going Monday to Friday and just watching. This time I'm starting on a Monday, and I hope to be done by Friday, but I mean, you know, if I really dedicate myself to it, I could probably do it in a few days. I'd like to do that and then refresh, and then maybe in a month and a half, I can crack on with the 4th marathon. So that's about it. Nothing more to go into. That's the introduction down. Okay, take a breath. I really need to just take a breather there, because I'm getting too amped up. I need to get my excitement levels down a little bit, tone it down a notch, and just get ready to sit down, chill out, and watch some amazing silent films. Hopefully. It'll be a real dud if this video turned out to be me just watching films and me disappointed by every single one of them. We have about 10 feature films for this marathon, maybe 11, and a bunch of shorts, so let's get into it. Alright. We are about to start Silent Movie Marathon 3 with Buster Keaton's Battling Butler. Battling Butler. Bit of a mouthful. Not really, it's just the pronunciation. Because if you really pronounce it, it's Battling Butler. But my kind of way of saying it would be Battling Butler, which is a bit of a cluster fuck of words. It doesn't even sound like the English language. Battling Butler. Anyway, it is Battling Butler, which is this is a 2-pack Kino Blu-ray. I've seen Go West, love Go West, one of the kind of underappreciated or underrated Buster Keaton films. I think it's a real great film, one of his shorter ones. But Battling Butler, is one I haven't seen, so we're going to check that out. Connie's with me. She's not going to be on camera for this because I'm sick of her being in all my videos. I mean, we've been doing so many videos together recently, so I just want to take a break of, you know, this is my channel and I want to occupy the frame with my face, so...
Yeah, and your fans are like sick of my face anyways.
They might be. They may very well might be. Yeah. But also she just, you know, worked out and showered and doesn't have makeup on, so, you know, that might be the real reason. We're on a kind of a health kick, kind of, for the past 2 months now. In fact, tomorrow will mark 2 months since I've started it. Obviously this is about silent films, I'm not going to go deep into that, but... It's funny because we both have a glass in front of us. Connie has a glass of stuff that looks like... I'm not going to say what it looks like. You might be able to guess what it looks like. Yeah, it's a smoothie.
It's a green smoothie.
It
looks like a green smoothie.
It looks like a glass of...
Don't say the word.
I'm not going to say the word. Whereas I have a glass As per tradition of cola with some ice cubes. It is sugar-free cola. Still poisonous, but you know. So I'm not going to gain weight, but it's not good for me. But still,
Mine
I felt like
better than yours.
I felt like I needed to uphold tradition a little bit and get some Coke. So let's check out the film. Connie likes Buster Keaton, so she'll give her off-camera thoughts afterwards, if she has any, that is. And we're going to watch the film now and kick this whole thing off with the man himself, Buster Keaton, the great Stoneface himself. Battling Butler. I guess it must be his kind of his Rocky film or something. It says, based on a popular stage musical, Battling Butler stars Buster Keaton as a pampered socialite who pretends to be a famed prize fighter in order to impress his girlfriend's bullying brothers. So he's got a girlfriend with brothers who are bullies, and he wants to impress them by pretending he's a boxer when really he is a pampered socialite. Sounds like fun. I almost feel like just dragging this out even longer to annoy Connie even more, but I'm not going to, because she just rolled her eyes so much. I'm thankful that her pupils are still, you know, in front of her and not lost in the back of her head.
Thankful my face isn't on camera. Play.
If her looks could kill, I'd be dead long ago. Illegal! Oh wow. The old MGM. Lion looks sleepy. Directed by Buster Keaton, which means it's going to be great. Guys, I think this might be a faulty edition or something. I don't know what it is with this Blu-ray. There's no... I can't hear what they're saying. Oh, there we go. Must just be for the introduction. A mouse moving there? What are they saying? We have to read the entire... Shh!
I can't read!
Shh! We've got to read the whole film. You got to be fucking kidding me. It looked like he said more than that. Alright, we're half an hour into the film. We're both quite hungry now, so we're going to have dinner and take a little break. Connie's cooking some chicken and rice, which I cannot wait for. My stomach is rumbling. Loving the film so far. I didn't know what to expect from it. I hadn't heard that it was, you know, one of his greats particularly, but it's a great first half hour. Has really set up the story well. If the rest of the film's as good as the first half hour, then it should be one of my favorites. I think I really enjoyed the setup. It had some good jokes, good little story going on there. And did you enjoy? You know.
Oh, I fucking hate it. I'm kidding.
Hate it. You hate it, you know. No, I mean.
No, I really enjoy it. I actually laugh out loud sometimes, and I don't usually do that.
Yeah, we've been laughing a lot. It's just really funny gags, both visually on the screen, but also like some of the intertitles. Like, you know, like when he's dating he's dating the girl, and she thinks he's this boxer champion, but he doesn't know that she thinks this, and so she says, when you fighting next, and he stops to think, and then he says, when I'm drafted. Which is a great little gag.
And then she says, no, I mean, who are you fighting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I really like the story of him being this kind of, again, as it says on the back of the thing, a pampered socialite who's got no real world skills. He goes out camping, but you know, he goes out camping in a very rich way. His tent is lavish. He's got all like a bearskin rug and everything. He's got a butler doing everything for him, and he meets this mountain girl and kind of falls in love with her. Great little scene where they're having dinner and both their elbows are on the table, and the table keeps sinking down into the ground until at the end it's like right in the ground, and it's you know, it's night and they're still chatting away and stuff, and so many great little bits. Yeah, really enjoying it so far. Dinner next, and then we'll finish the film. Okay, here's dinner: chicken, rice, and I don't know what it's just chicken sauce, right? I don't know what the sauce is, but it works great with it. Cannot wait to start eating. One thing I wanted to mention before we do is that obviously, you know, seeing these films in high definition is great, as I mentioned earlier, but even Connie said how good this film looks. Now,
even Connie said.
No, I'm just saying, like, because these Kino Blu-rays, a lot of them, they're not in like amazing quality. Well, they're in amazing quality because they're high definition, they're from film print sources, but they don't clean up the prints that much, you know, so there's a lot of scratches, a lot of the kind of wear and tear and damage that you would expect from like a, you know, 90-year-old film. There have been recent 4K remasters of most of his films where like a lot of the damage has been removed and things like that. But I kind of like the damage. It kind of goes with it a little bit, and Connie said it has a charm to it, right? The damage.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and I agree as well. So yeah, I mean, hopefully those 4K remasters will get Blu-ray releases at some point. But I do like the charm of seeing all the damage and stuff. For some weird reason, it just has a weathered, lived-in feel to it. And yeah, as Connie pointed out, like just some of the close-ups, you just see so much detail. It's crazy. Anyway, on with the film. On with the dinner, going into our bellies and filling us up, because my stomach was grumbling so much earlier. Connie said it sounded like thunder.
Yeah.
So
like thunder way in the distance.
Yeah, distant thunder. So food, on with the movie. Alright, we're done with Battling Butler. There you go. I really enjoyed it. Connie, do you want to give some of your off-camera thoughts about the film, just very briefly? And speak up a bit, because you're quite far away from the camera.
Oh, it was great. I thought it was great. I loved it. I didn't think that...
You loved it, really?
Well, yeah. I didn't think it would be as entertaining as it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty long, too, to be a...
Yeah. Speaking of length, just to cut you off, it does say on the back that it's 85 minutes. I thought that's quite long for a Buster Keaton film, but it was actually only 76 minutes, so they got that wrong on the back. I thought it might be to do with the difference in timing with like PAL and stuff, you know, America, the UK, but the other one on here, Go West, is 68 minutes on the back and 68 minutes on the disc, so they just made a mistake on the back of the cover. Anything else?
You can just talk and I'll just say something.
You'll just agree with what I say? Okay.
Well, I really liked it.
Okay.
I don't even know what else to say. Like, it had funny parts, it was...
I think the story was really good. It was
Yes.
built up well.
Built up well.
Like you're wondering, how is this going to end? Like, how is he going to get out of this situation, you know?
Usually he kind of jumps into the story after like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This one took a while, and that was cool.
It did take a while to build up. As I said, I kind of went through the plot really, but he plays a character called Alfred Butler, and he's a pampered socialite, as it says on the back. I've already said that 3 times now, but he's very entitled. You know, he doesn't really do anything for himself. He has a butler, and actually his butler is kind of like, he instigates everything. You could almost call this film Meddling Butler, about his actual butler in the film, because Buster Keaton's butler in the film is the one who invents this whole lie that Buster's character Alfred Butler is actually the famous boxer who shares the same name, Alfred Battling Butler. So to win over the favour of Buster Keaton's girlfriend's father and brother, Buster Keaton's butler says that it sounds very complicated, but it plays out very well on screen. And so basically all you need to know is that Buster Keaton's character, Alfred Butler, he doesn't come up with the lie that he's the boxer. His own butler comes up with that, and so he kind of ends up stuck with it. And his girlfriend's like, "Oh, you're a boxer," and you know her father and brother are really enamored with it, like, "Oh yeah, you're the boxer," and all that. You gotta beat the guy. We're gonna put money on you and all that kind of stuff. And so he gets taken along this ride throughout the film where he keeps having to keep up with the lie, and so he keeps his wife happy, basically. And then it all leads to him actually being put into a fight at the end of the film, and I just loved how it built up to the fight at the end, what was going to happen, and the actual fight at the end of the film plays out a lot differently than you'd expect.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really, like, funnily enough, you know Martin Scorsese's film Raging Bull? Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
With Robert De Niro, famous boxing movie. A lot of people call it the greatest boxing movie ever made. Scorsese was actually inspired by this film with the final fight where Buster really goes for it with the guy he's fighting. And so Scorsese actually said that was one of his inspirations and stuff, and he actually really liked that scene, so that's really cool.
It was unexpected.
It was unexpected the way it played out, yeah. So yeah, not one of Buster Keaton's best, I wouldn't say. It's not up there with like The General or Steamboat Bill Jr. or Sherlock Jr., but I think it might be in my top 5 favourites actually. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to, and yeah, I'd call it more of a favourite than one of his best, but I just really enjoyed from start to finish everything about it. It had laugh out loud funny moments, a good story, and a really good ending. I thought I really loved the ending, and even like his own butler I thought was great in it.
Yeah.
He just had a lot of funny facial expressions without overdoing it and things like that. The trainer in the film was really funny, so lots of good little side characters and stuff. And this actually came out in 1926, which was the same year The General came out, which is, you know, his masterpiece. Which is really interesting that he released this film in 1926 and The General in 1926. The General, which again is like one of the greatest films of all time, that film flopped. It absolutely tanked. Whereas Battling Butler was reviewed poorly, but made a load of money and was a hit. So it's weird how sometimes, you know, critical acclaim or, you know, critical, you know, thumbs down, how much a film makes really doesn't, you know, match up sometimes. And I think that's kind of true today as well. I mean, there's kind of a grey area there, but I thought that's quite interesting to know that the Battling Butlers did very well, The General didn't. It's nowhere near as good as The General, but I'm just saying, that was interesting. And also, again, as I read out earlier, it says Keaton plays a pampered socialite who pretends to be a famed prize fighter in order to impress his girlfriend's bullying brothers. That's untrue. It's his girlfriend's bullying father and brother. So there's two mistakes on the back of this already, which is a shame. But the Blu-ray was cool. There's some cool special features, you know, some like production stills and things like that. And yeah, Battling Butler, really enjoyed it. I don't know if last year when I did Silent Movie Marathon 2, if I'd started with my kind of new thing now, where I'm not really rating films anymore. Because I feel I just get bogged down in people focusing too much on the rating of what, and I guess I kind of know in my head what I'd rate it, but I'm just saying it's really good. It wasn't amazing, but just a really good film. Maybe even great, I would say, actually. So